go ahead and jump into the next part of the show. That's going to be the long form discussion, and we're going to be revisiting the topic that we spoke of earlier, because there was a huge story that broke this week, where Ninja was paid, allegedly, Ninja was paid $1 million from EA to play Apex Legends. And so we want to ask the questions: do streamers have too much influence on games? And do you want to go first?
Yeah, so I definitely will start. So I have two ways I'm looking at this. The first way is their influence, right?
Okay.
Are people really buying games because the streamer is playing it, or is the streamer's audience coming from people that were already playing the game? Ninja, for example, did people start playing Fortnite because Ninja was playing it? I don't think so. I think he got a huge following because he was good at Fortnite, and people that were already playing Fortnite wanted to watch him. Maybe word of mouth from people that aren't good, or maybe that don't play, and they find it interesting. They wanted to watch him. But me personally, my main reason for bringing this story up is my baby, Destiny 2. They just released some DLC. They've just released the DLC season pack, whatever you want to call it. It's actually really good. And when they released it, they made a big change to the sandbox. They nerfed some weapons, upgrade maybe some other weapons more powerful. Entire weapon classes they've changed some ways the abilities work and all that stuff. And within the first 2 or 3 days, you start to see headlines. Everybody's asking for nerf this. People were like, remove this weapon from the game, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. And, everybody turned out to be a small subset of streamers who essentially were upset that their preferred loadout wasn't as dominant as it had previously been. And I can see where they can be upset, because there's a couple of weapons in there they're called pinnacle weapons that you have to put a lot of time into the game to get. And you put that time, you get this weapon, you want to feel like you're more powerful than everybody. The problem with that is people that don't have that weapon, from one, not having the time, not being good enough, or in my case, I don't want to do the same thing over and over.
You don't want to grind
for 20 hours. And that's just not the way I play that game or most games. Right. So, those they're upset that they can't use their requested or their preferred loadout, and they want it changed. And I see this a lot in games where a few people, it's that old adage, right?
a loud minority. Yeah,
it's 99%. You're on mute. I can't hear you. What did I do?
No, definitely not muted.
There we go. Unplug something.
Oh. You can get worked up talking about Destiny, man.
Yeah, so no, it's not just Destiny. I've seen this on other games. I've seen it on Overwatch. I see it for people complaining about not the Division. What's the other game? Rainbow Six. I've seen all of the competitive games. I've seen people complaining about it with FIFA and Madden, where it's like, oh, this character's card is too high, or this character's stat needs to change, or this play needs to be removed because it's too hard. I don't. They act like they're the only ones playing the game. They're not. And to tailor a game to a specific small audience is only going to hasten the demise of whatever game that is you're playing.
My approach to this topic is a little different, because when you ask the question, do streamers have too much influence on games? I would say, like, short answer, yeah. I think streamers have a lot of influence on games, because streaming has become so valuable to video games as a marketing tool, exactly. as well as prolonging the longevity of certain games, especially these competitive games, and then you have esports, which is a whole nother conversation that we can have, and how that has influenced games, and how that continues on, and then you have the individual players. These people, they have influence on the game, because it's their input, it's their feedback that reigns supreme when it comes to like change that needs to be made. For instance, let's condense the gaming down a little bit, and let's just talk about the fighting game community. When you're talking about fighting games, the first place that people, developing studios or publishers are looking when it comes to feedback are high profile streamers. They'll actually fly some of these people out to the studio to have them play the game and then ask for their feedback like on the spot. So when it comes to streamers and their influence on games, I think that it's gotten to a point where it can be kind of like a symbiotic relationship where they can work off of each other. But then you have situations like yours when you have people that just want a certain thing because that's how they perceive the game, that's how they want to play the game, and then that's where you run into issues. But yeah, streaming and gaming, they basically go hand in hand.
And I think there's two places that the streamers have too much influence. I think on your part is right. They have too much influence when game developers are trying to make decisions on balancing the game, inclusion and exclusion of features, weapons, moves, characters, and that type of stuff. And I also feel that their impact on people playing your game is grossly overstated. Like I said, I don't think people are playing Fortnite because they watch Ninja. I think they watch Ninja because they play Fortnite.
They play Fortnite and he's the best, Fortnite player. He's entertaining and, the whole nine. Yeah, so I agree with you there. I don't think that streamers have influence necessarily on game sales. I mean, there is some kind of parallel because Twitch wouldn't have introduced the feature where streamers can get paid out for game sales if it wasn't a thing. So that is there, but for me personally, I watch people stream games that I'm interested in already. There's and a lot of people will look towards streamers and influencers for their opinion on games before they buy it.
So it's true. People do. Yes, they do. But the thing is, when you're looking at a streamer, they already have in their mind the game is there, right? So I'm thinking about getting Division 2. I'll go and find and see. Like I think T-Rex. T-Rex is a big Destiny streamer, right? So I see him playing Division 2. I might peek in on it and see what the game is like. What he's saying about it. Because to be quite honest, he has some of the same opinions about Destiny that I do. So because of that, not because he's a streamer, but because I've watched him stream, he has some of the same opinions that I do. I'll listen to what he has to say, and I'll take his opinion. It may help me form a decision, it may not. But that's how I look at it. It's not that this random dude is playing Division, let me go look at him and see if it's a good game. No, that's not how I look at it. And I think that's not how many people look at it. Many people have their favorite streamers that they look at. Many times it's because they share opinions. Their opinions are closely aligned. That's how we operate, right? We don't typically watch or listen to a bunch of people that have opinions that are
opposing opinions.
Opposing opinions. That's not entertaining to us. We want to reassure ourselves, right? We want to reinforce our beliefs. We don't want people shitting on us. So we find people that are like-minded, and that's who we watch, that's who we follow, and that's who we listen to, and it just helps reaffirm my opinion. So in that case, where, for instance, not T-Rex, Ninja getting paid $1 million for Apex Legends to show to his Fortnite players, there's no guarantee that his Fortnite players are going to play Apex Legends, but it makes sense for EA because he has 13 million followers.
Yes, so 10% of that.
10% of that is 1.3 million people. That's a ton of people to play your game, right?
Yeah.
So it makes sense in that.
I'm glad you had the math in your head. I just put out 10%. I didn't know exactly how many people that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, and shout out to Rich. Thanks for tuning in, homie. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, and the actual number is something between 3 to 7% are usually converted. So even at 3%, that's about 300,000 people, right? No, yeah, it's about 300,000 people. So almost 400,000 people. So I mean, there's a huge potential. But is 400,000 people worth $1 million? Because if you break down the number, that's just over $2.25 per new user. So EA paid $2 to get people to buy their game or play their game and start participating in microtransactions and season passes. So that $2 per person is well spent. But my biggest problem is when developers take too hard and make changes based on, a streamer with 10,000 followers, a streamer with 50,000 followers, and they change the balance of the game because the streamer is complaining that his gun is not as powerful as it used to, or
that's where it gets like insidious, and that's where like problems start to arise. You don't want any one person or any one subsect of group of people or whatever to influence the game that just increases. You don't want them to influence the game in a way that increases their fun factor, because their fun factor isn't the same as everybody that's currently engaged in the game. So go ahead.
Okay, I was gonna say, what happens and what the developers don't see is they make a change, and I'm gonna go back to Destiny. They make a change in PvP. They did this. I want to say it was Destiny 1. Auto rifles, automatic rifles. They used to be super unstoppable. They were great. Blah blah blah. They nerfed them into the ground to the point where people didn't want to use them. But there was a subset of people that they play the game and they like to use auto rifles. What do you think they did? They walked away.
Yeah, either walk away or you change. When you change the meta of the game, you're either gonna have people that's gonna walk away, or you're gonna have people that's gonna conform. I am not the type of person that would conform to a certain way of playing the game. I want to play the game the way I want to play it.
Exactly, and
if playing the game the way I want to play it means that I'm going to lose, or that I'm not going to have success or have a good time playing, then I won't play.
Exactly, and that's what they miss out. They look at the numbers, they look at dwindling numbers, they don't know why, and the reason why is that they're tuning and balancing the game to a small subset of players, and is really affecting and de-incentivizing players from continuing to play the game, because now that auto rifle that I leaned on, or that heavy machine gun that I leaned on, is no longer effective, and now that's what I've been playing, and maybe I don't play a lot, so I don't have the entire arsenal of weapons. I have a small subset of weapons, and you just essentially broke the game for me.
Yeah, it's a difficult balance, man, and that's something that these publishers are going to have to do is balance exactly how much influence they take away from these influencers and streamers and personalities, because there's people on all types of platforms. You got YouTubers, you got Instagram people that have influence on certain games. There's people, for instance, the Smash community, a lot of the high profile tournament goers, will have their word be like the gospel. And so if a character seems broken, and like in a tournament, if it's displayed in tournament that something's broken, only then will it be like truly like addressed, Exactly. Like once people are loud enough about it, that's when it's addressed. And we're fortunate to be in a time where these little tweaks and changes to a game can happen, via a update patch or whatever. But when any one person or any small group of people are the only ones that are influencing the game, and you're not taking any kind of ideas or anything from the vast majority of people that are trying to enjoy your game, especially when your game is online, and even more so when your game is competitive, that's a problem.
Yep, exactly. I agree.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly agree. And like I said, the development teams, yes, they can listen to the streamers, listen to what they're saying, but they need to, you know, find a better way to vet with the entire community, and less with a small subset. Because to be quite honest, the loudest people on the internet are the smallest. It's the same people saying the same things over and over again, and they're just using the megaphone. You know, they're using Twitter and Reddit and
Yeah.
Facebook and streaming their streaming channel as a megaphone to get their word out there, and it's really self-serving for them because you know, I spend more time playing this game than anybody else, so I want to be the most powerful.
Mm. Yeah, that's an issue right there.
Hmm.
I'm just glad none of those people are playing Fallout 76. They'd have got banned by now. But yeah, we want to know what you guys out there think about this topic. Do you think that streamers and influencers, YouTubers and the such, do you think they have way too much influence on the ongoing development of video games? Let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below. You can also hit us up on our social media as well.